here with Kenna Matthews, a GAINSWave provider out in Alabama, I believe. Is that correct? You're in Alabama?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Kina, tell us about yourself, your speciality, your scope, your practice.
Okay. Yeah, so I am Kina. I am the sexual health specialist here with GAINSWave. I've been in my field for about 4 years doing P shots, O shots, doing BioT, pellets, hormones, a lot of that. And then as far as GAINSWave, I've been doing that for 2 years. So I've been the GAINSWave technician and I do all the consultations as well.
That's great. So you handle everything from the consultation to the actual procedure, the treatment?
Right. Yes, I do. I've been doing the consultation since January. So, which I actually like because I not only get to meet them, I already know the issue, the situation right at the beginning. So then when we go to start treatment, I don't have to have them repeat everything all over again. I already know, what that next step is. And usually when I don't do the consultations, I'm like, okay, tell me who you are. Tell me your issues all over again, so that helps.
I'm sure it helps greatly. And I think for the patient journey, it's important for the patient because they feel or he feels comfortable with you. There's continuity of care.
Right. Yeah, I get that a lot. A lot of times they want me to do the treatment and they feel uncomfortable to meet anybody new. So it's all about building that rapport and relating with them and getting that comfort level with them when you start the treatments.
That's interesting. As a female, do you think your male patients have any issues opening up with what could be a sensitive subject?
Every single one of them come in here really nervous. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to act. And I start off by telling them what I do, what I see, because they're like, well, you're not a guy, so you don't understand. And I say, yeah, I don't understand physical wise, but I am here with every single one of my patients. I am here when they have the results. I'm here when they don't. I'm here when they're vulnerable. And all I can do is help them to be more comfortable. Every single one of them are always really nervous. I had one tell me they wish that I was an old lady. And then after I started their treatments, they're like, I'm glad you're not an old lady. So, but yeah.
I can imagine. It's quite interesting because we work with approximately 400 practices nationwide. And one thing I have noticed is some of our most popular practices have a rather large female staff. And in fact, some of our successful GAINSWave practices are female owned and operated. And I think the ability to connect with the patient and empathize with them and understand what they're going through from start to finish is so important. You must have some patients who are really grateful for that.
Yes, a lot of my patients are very thankful. I get texts, even with the COVID, I've got previous patients messaging me, hey, are you doing okay? And I'm like, how are you doing? That's the question. And they're like, we're doing great. Can't wait to come back for the maintenance treatment and stuff. So I build a rapport with my patients. I keep in touch with them. It's a never ending thing. You got to keep taking care of yourself. So we establish a good connection with all of our patients.
I think you mentioned the key word, rapport. It's so important. Dealing with anything in life, let alone in the practice setting, but just going out your regular daily activities, making that connection with possible strangers or possible patients for life. It's good for the soul.
Yes, it is. Yes. And some of my patients, because I assist the doctors when we do the pellets, a lot of them, they're fixing their testosterone and their hormones, but they're still having ED and lack of blood flow. And so I already know them, from the pellet side. So then they come over to this side. So that's cool because, I get to do both with them and they get to keep in contact with us as well.
Got it. Before you guys integrated GAINSWave into your practice, were you offering any other treatment to help improve erectile dysfunction in your male population?
Just the hormone BioT for test. We didn't really, we kept getting, hey, I have ED, hey, I have ED. So it's like, okay, here's Cialis, here's Viagra, hey, we need to look at your testosterone. And that's why 2 years ago, when we had heard about GAINSWave, because we just kept getting all these calls, I have ED, you know. And so that's why, you know, the doctors and us, we went to the training and we were just like, wow. I mean, can you imagine? It's just all about a balance of life. You got to fix your thyroid. You got to fix your sex hormones. Okay, now let's fix the blood flow. So, and then, so ever since then, I mean, it has taken off greatly just because of the fact that we explain it is a balance. You have to, you know, balance both out.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, when you look at healthcare or successful healthcare, it is an integrative approach, a holistic approach where you have to look at everything, balance the hormones, look at the diet, look at the level of physical activity.
Right.
There's many different areas, many different bases that you have to cover in order for these patients to get optimal results in the safest, most effective way.
Right. And we were doing P shots. Don't get me wrong. I mean, P shots were great, but I didn't see the results that I see now until we started doing GAINSWave, which makes a lot more sense now, you know, repairing the blood vessels and all that good stuff. So
it's quite remarkable how GAINSWave and in general low intensity shockwave therapy to help improve erectile function and erection quality is taken off in the short space of 3 years. So you mentioned earlier, you've been with GAINSWave for 2 years now?
Right. I've been doing the GAINSWave for 2 years. I've been here for 4 years. We also do Botox, fillers. We do balancing thyroid optimization. We have nurse practitioners here. I'm also a registered medical assistant with a doctor, so I do a lot of that stuff. Well, now I actually do GAINSWave full time, but I started out into all of that, being a medical assistant, working with the doctors, working at patients and stuff like that.
So you said full-time. Approximately how many GAINSWave patients do you see on a weekly basis or a monthly basis?
Well, on a weekly, you know, it kind of changes the consistency. I would say when we first started out, I was doing maybe 2 or 3 a week, you know, not a lot. And then as the word started getting out there and we started like advertising, it became more. So now I get to start back next week doing GAINSWave. I have 25 patients for next week that I have scheduled. I have 18 consultations that I have scheduled to do. And so if they start, then that's even more. So it's a lot.
You're gonna be busy. You're gonna be busy.
It's 5 days a week though. It is 5 days a week that we do that. And I mean, it's amazing because we used to only do 2 days a week because I was doing pellets. And finally I was like, you know what? There's not enough days. We're gonna have to do these more days. So I try to do Monday through Thursday GAINSWave, and then I try to do my consultations on Friday. So that way I'm not, you know, running around like crazy trying to, you know, get my thoughts together.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Is there a specific patient story that has stuck with you? You know, helping these guys, and ED doesn't just affect the male in the relationship; it affects both parties involved in the
Yes. Yes.
Is there one particular story, one patient example, one patient case that sticks out in your mind?
I have so many. I mean, and that's one reason why I'm so passionate about doing this, because of all the results that I do see. Okay, so I do have one patient in his 70s. He had Peyronie's, and it felt like scar tissue. Heavy PTSD from the military. Went to different urologists. It was very painful, about a 30-degree bend to the left. But no medical history as far as that goes. And so we tried a P shot on him. This is before we did GAINSWave, and it didn't work. It was just like, it didn't do anything. And he was like, I just don't understand. And so, you know, we got GAINSWave. So I called him and I was like, hey, we have a new approach. Let's try this. Let's repair your blood vessels, increase that blood flow, and then go ahead and do PRP to increase your red blood cells. And it took about 12 treatments, and he would come in so upset. It's not working. It's not working. He had given up. His wife came in. She would cry. She was like, please just fix him if you can. We're desperate. And it took about 12 GAINSWave treatments and 2 P shots. I remember when he came in for his 6-week follow-up, he was smiling. His wife came in, she hugged my neck. He was having erections. It was straighter. There was no more pain. He had so much blood flow. I mean, it was just like he was a new person. And I have several like that. But the scar tissue, they felt like rocks up underneath the skin. And we softened that with the GAINSWave and then did the PRP after that. So it was pretty incredible. And other patients that I have that have the same issue, it helps me to know what protocols to do. And then I've got patients that just have just ED that are just like, gosh, it's just aggravating. You know, give them 6 treatments, let them do the pump, let them take their Affirm, and then they're like a new person. They're like, wow, it's working again. You know, so yes, I mean, I've seen so many results. Wives have hugged my neck. Men have thanked me so much that, I mean, I think that's what keeps me going about all this. Every once in a while, you'll get somebody that might not have results and then come to find out their, you know, sugar is out of control and they're not taking care of themselves. And then we kind of have to have that difficult conversation. But other than that, like, I've seen so many tremendous stories and testimonials.
That's incredible. You must be doing a fantastic job. You're in the front lines of sexual wellness in your city, in your state, and you're doing a lot of good. You're improving a lot of people's lifestyle.
Yes, and women too, you know, sexual dysfunction, they'll come in the same way. They're like, you know, I have no sensation. And I mean, it makes a huge difference to increase blood flow.
Yeah, it's quite incredible, the mechanism of action with GAINSWave. Are you leveraging the marketing material that's available to you as a member from the portal?
Yes. Yes, we use a lot of the advertising and stuff like that.
And on the portal, what's the most important resource for you? Is it the digital marketing, the copy, the content? Is it the printed material, something else?
I like the magazines. That teaches me a lot, and I like to share that with the patients. And then the digital advertising, I really like, because I can take it and then I can just make it what I want, and then I can post it. So that helps a lot as well.
That's great. Make sure you keep on using that stuff.
Yes.
We constantly we create and we make available every 2 weeks curated content for you guys, so you can constantly educate your community, educate your patients. It's fresh content. It's stuff you can print out, place in your practice, good old-fashioned patient education pieces, and all the newfangled modern stuff, the graphics, the banners, the keywords, the hashtags that you can put up on your social media channels too, so you can get new
right.
What would you tell a provider who's considering joining GAINSWave?
I would actually be really excited about that, because I have so many patients that are in different states. I had one that had to fly from Arkansas to come here. And I would say it's a great idea, because it's like ED never stops. You know, you're going to age, people have medical issues, they need help, and they're scared to talk about it. And so if you can get a patient to talk about what's going on, and you're able to offer them, you know, GAINSWave, and actually tell them what it does, it's going to get them excited to do it, and then they're going to tell other people about it, which at first they didn't want to. They're like, no, I'm not talking about this, I'm not telling anybody. But I mean, I don't know. It also depends on how you are coming about it, because it's important that you are telling them that you are here to help them. And you're not going to stop until it gets done. I mean, that's pretty much what I do. If they don't have results, I'm frustrated. I'm like, okay, what is going on? What are they doing? Or what am I not doing? But for someone that's looking into doing GAINSWave, it's life-changing, because every blood vessel is deteriorating and we are repairing that. So I think it's a great idea, and I hope more people do it in those areas.
I think it's important because, you know, a lot of guys, maybe rightly or wrongly, they place a great emphasis on erectile function, on their ability to have satisfying sex between them and their wives.
Right.
And if they don't have good erectile function, it really does play on their self-esteem, their self-confidence, ultimately quality of life. And there's a lot of studies out there that have proven guys who do have ED, it can lead to depression, it can lead to a number of different issues that can really affect their QOL, their quality of life.
Right, exactly. And if they are able, you know, to have function and activity, then they start to think differently and they actually become happy, you know? So yeah, I mean, I see it every day.
Well, I think they become happy because they're making their wives happy again. And as
Right.
we all know, a happy wife is
Happy wife, happy life. Exactly.